Good evening, dear listeners and viewers. On our top stories today, the Minister of Finance, Luis Paul Motadze, visits the opaque city of Limbe within the context of presenting the Southwest State budget to the region in question. The minister is doing this particular activity based on an agenda which he actually began in Boya, the regional capital, yesterday in the Southwest region. Also, we are going to talk about something completely different in this edition of the news. We are going to see how there is an innovative way in which football could be played as an organization called Gildas comes in to improve the way the game could be played across the globe. Plus, Barrister Alice Com has been summoned for a third time within a month in the opaque city of Douala, I should say, and she is being summoned by the judicial police in Douala 1 subdivision in Bonanjo, and she's awaited there in the days ahead. Those are top stories in this edition of the news. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to CAM1 Radio and Television. This is One News, and the frequency for the radio is 99.5 FM, and you are tuned to this particular network, which is your daily bread. We are going to immediately kickstart this session today with the minister's visit to the opaque city of Limbe, as Luis Paul Motadze was present in this town today to actually present the state budget for the Southwest region. The minister spoke to so many other stakeholders while being in Limbe, and the ceremony to also launch operations for the state budget for 2025 fiscal year in the Southwest region was also being showcased today, as Minister Luis Paul Motadze was seen in so many of his state regalia. Also, regarding government projects for the region, the launch ceremony held on December 15th at the Kalik Pastoral Center in Moliko and was chaired by the Minister of Finance and attended by regional authorities, members of decentralized collectivities, and other stakeholders. In his address, Minister Motadze highlighted projects completed in 2024 and those scheduled for executions in 2025. Minister Luis Paul Motadze, in his speech, outlined projects earmarked for the Southwest region in 2025. Informed the audience that the Bikoko Limbe Edina Road will be rehabilitated, while the Kumamanfi Road, like the Boya Sase Limbe Road, will receive a fresh coat of tar. Additionally, the construction of Bangem Guti Road was noted. Regarding energy supply, the budget allocates funds for the installation and the commissioning of the Sonora High Voltage Substation, as well as the construction and securing of the land for the Limbe Gas Power Plant. For education, 200 million francs CFA will be used to equip Ombe High School, and the rehabilitation and the extension of NASLA will be carried out for 600 million francs CFA. It should also be noted that the Minister of Finance announced the allocation of 36.4 billion francs CFA for the reconstruction of crisis-affected areas, up to 34 billion in 2024. He also disclosed that the National Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Committee will receive 4.4 billion francs CFA. He traced the presidential plan for the reconstruction of the Northwest and Southwest regions, which has helped at least 8,000 people recover lost documents. Over 59 cultural festivals were held to promote unity, and 11 community centers were rebuilt to empower women. Motadze reported that 79 schools and 39 health facilities had been reconstructed along 4 bridges, while more than 2,400 farmers had received inputs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to show you guys an exclusive video today by the Minister of Finance, Luis Paul Motadze, in the following excerpt, where he actually spoke to some community stakeholders in the town of Limbe during his visit today. Take a listen to the minister in the following excerpt.
Okay, I am yesterday and on Tuesday, and I've had the opportunity to visit the premises, how they are situated. This is why generally I spend a whole day for my volunteers to see how they are working, where they are working, do they face some problems, which problems, and what could be the solutions that we can bring to address these problems. And what I discovered is that the situation is they are in a very their mindset is good. When you see their result, the figures as far as the budget is concerned, the figures are good. But we can do more because the situation is the one we know in our country. And I told them that we cannot rely on oil, we cannot rely on debt. That means that the results will be done by ourselves. That means fiscal results, customs results, and so on. And so on. And I gave them some other advices. That means that they have to do what they have to continue to do what they are already doing, but they have to explain to people what they are doing, because now you know that a lot of people think that there is an increase of the taxes. This is not true. This is not true, because when you go to the figures, you will see that there is not an increase of taxes, but people should understand as well that you can't say that we need roads, we need schools, we need hospitals, and do not accept that we have to look for the resources to realize what you want us to do. And they do it. That means that they have to explain to people what they are doing. I think this is one of the key points of the message I try to give to them.
That was the Minister of Finance, Luis Paul Motadze, during his visit to Limbe today. Now we talk something else. The organization known as Coders has come up with an improved way in which the game of football could be played. The Coders organization, under its president, Dr. Nabil Vega, also says that this particular initiative is going to come a long way to bring a lot of stakeholders together and also improve on the rehabilitation of players within the context of beautifying the football game across the globe. Details in the following report. The Cultural Diversity Football League, now known as Golden Age Soccer in its acronym GORDS, this organization has 21 years of existence and currently spans over 6 countries worldwide, which includes the United Kingdom, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, South Africa, Liberia, and Cameroon. The organization has been conducting Herculean tasks by continuously researching on meticulous ways in addressing behavioral problems for a game which brings together over 1 billion people worldwide. According to Dr. Nabil Vega, the president of the organization, football is practically a way of life, and through this medium, other forms of development could be fostered through financial democratization and a different pathway of innovating the football game. In his words, Golders brings a new perspective whereby over 377,000 new jobs will be created for futuristic human resource development. Also, the game will have a new face with an oval-shaped field and different types of sanction cards ranging from the white, earth brown, black, and gold colors, which will be given in various altitudes based on the magnitude of the offense during the game. A law Dr. Nabil believes will eliminate match fixing within the context of a psychological risk management factor to deter people from committing grievance offenses. The doctor further elaborated on the way forward and his activity reports, where Golders has been legalized.
The way forward now is clear. We are engaging into live activities. The immediate activity that will follow will be the grouping of youths according to areas of interest. Some of them are going to be trained as game officiating officers. Some of them will also be trained to occupy executive offices, because the executive offices, they do the administrative work, meet with the other stakeholders, while the game officials concentrate on the activity proper. We are going to be using primary schools and secondary schools for pilot games, because when you train the capacity to be sure it's performant, we must poke it against a practical activity so that we can ascertain that the capacity has been developed and the knowledge has gone through. In a country like Sierra Leone, it had one of the highest state collaboration that overwhelmed me. I was received right from the airport by a delegation which had been discharged by the National Inspector General of Police Office that they must ensure my safe landing and bring me straight to the headquarters, the police headquarters. And while I was rested the next day, he welcomed me to his office, the Inspector General of Police, and he introduced me to his managers.
Summarily, Golda's headquarters in Cameroon will soon be fully established in Limbe, with a board of stakeholders who want to see the football game innovated. Dr. Nabil Vega's dexterous presentation in today's press conference shows how far and willing this ideology aims to blossom into fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching One News on CAM1 Radio and Television. The Minister of Forestry, Jules Dore Ndongo, has launched a wildlife initiative aimed at addressing the increasing human-elephant conflicts that have been affecting communities in the far north region of the country. The recent operation comes in response to the rising tensions between local farmers and elephants. The animals are said to have been migrating into populated areas, causing crop destruction, property damage, and in some cases, human fatalities. Government has begun paying the research modernization allowances of university lecturers for the first quarter of the year. The payment exercise began earnest on Monday. The development was officially disclosed during a meeting chaired by the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Afame Ndongo. The session brought together lecturers of some state universities, including that of Boya, Douala, and Bertoua. Minister Afame Ndongo was accompanied to the parley by some of close collaborators, including his Secretary General, Professor Wilfred Gapsa. In the related development, elections management body elections, Cameroon Elecam has assured the public that difficulties experienced with voter registration are being addressed and well under control. The Director General of Elections at Elecam, Dr. Eric Esuse, made the pledge in an interview he granted to the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. His outing followed scathing criticisms and accusations by the national president of the Mount Cameroon Renaissance Movement, Professor Maurice Kamto, that the body is manipulating figures and violating certain provisions of the Electoral Code. The national president of opposition political party Cameroon Renaissance Movement (CRM), Professor Maurice Kamto, has accused the elections Cameroon Elecam of manipulating figures and violating the electoral law. He raised the alarm during a press conference at the party headquarters in Yaoundé. The 2018 presidential candidate said the failing to publish the national electoral lists on December 30, 2024, as stipulated by Article 80 of the Electoral Code, Elecam flagrantly violated the law. Now, on to one of our major lead stories. Alice Com, a prominent Cameroonian lawyer and a human rights advocate, has received a summon from the judicial police in Bonanjo, Douala. This makes it the third summon she has received from the authorities in recent months. She is expected to appear before the police on January 22nd, 2025. Com remarked on the timing of the summons in a Facebook post suggesting that the government's actions reflect typical behavior in an election year. Com dedicates her career to defending marginalized communities, particularly LGBTQ plus individuals. As such, she has been facing increasing scrutiny from authorities. In December 2024, the Minister of Territorial Administration accused the Central African Human Rights Defenders Network, REDAC, of conspiring against Cameroon. REDAC faced a ban and the authorities summoned Com for questioning about allegations of supporting armed groups in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon. The developments further raised concerns about the government's treatment of human rights defenders, especially with the presidential election approaching. We dive immediately to our international page in this segment of the news. In a statement, the Holy See Press Office has said that due to a fall Thursday morning in the Casa Santa Marta, the Pope's residence, the 88-year-old pontiff suffered a confusion to his right forearm without fracture. The statement added that his arm has been immobilized as a precautionary measure. Official pictures showed the Pope wearing a cloth sling as he held meetings. Despite the fall, Francis held 5 meetings on Thursday, according to the Vatican, including with Alvaro Lario, the president of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and priests from an Argentine college based in Rome. On Wednesday, the Pope led his general audience in the Vatican and seemed in good spirits, throwing a tennis ball to a dog during a circus performance. The Pope has suffered a number of health problems in recent years, and this is the second fall he has had in a matter of weeks. In early December, he appeared with a large bruise on his chin after falling and hitting his bedside table during the night. We talk something else. UK Prime Minister or British Prime Minister Keir Starmer arrived in Ukraine's capital on Thursday with a pledge to help guarantee the country's security for a century. Days before Donald Trump is sworn in as US president, the British government says Starmer and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will sign a 100-year partnership treaty in Kyiv, covering areas including defense, science, energy, and trade. Starmer's unannounced visit in his first trip to Ukraine since he took office in July. He visited the country in 2023 when he was opposition leader and has twice held talks with Zelensky in London since becoming prime minister. The war will be 3 years old next month. It's also safe to say the Italian defense chief was also in Kyiv on Thursday, 2 days after Germany's defense minister visited and 3 days after Zelensky talked by phone with French President Emmanuel Macron. We talk sports in this edition of the news. Northwest Regions Football Club's Young Sport Academy USA and the PWD Bamenda continue experiencing a challenging phase to the start of the MTN Elite One Championship with another set of disappointing results. USA's disastrous run in the Elite One continued as they fell to a humiliating 1-4 defeat to Gazelle FA of Garwa. It was a match day 7 fixture played at the MTN Arena in Buda over the weekend. Serge Dura scored a brace while Mathieu Gatsiri and Yumba were also on the score sheet for the North Region club. Yusa scored a consolation through Wabi Cedric from the penalty spot. It is with that sports note, ladies and gentlemen, that we draw a curtain to this edition of the news on CAM1 Radio and Television. For presentation, I was a Charles Abane. See you guys tomorrow, same time, same place on this network.